Assalamualaikum and hi everyone, Amar here, and I would just like to wish everyone well despite the current PKP and PKPB that we are all facing today. And as you can see, I'm working from home today. All right, so in this period of time, I just want to drop this video to share with you my 3 tips on how I can effectively work from home, which I hope would be beneficial for you as well. Okay, so tip number 1, in order for you to work effectively at home, you got to set your boundaries well, especially with your family members, all right? And especially with children, okay? Because children likes to play, right? So as they play, they might interfere with your work at home, all right? Especially if you have the meetings conducted online, all right? So you do not want to have a meeting with the what do you call it, noisy background at the back, with your children running around. That would not be, how to say, polite, okay, to the ones that you are communicating with online, all right? So especially you don't want to make that impression with your bosses, all right? Okay, so in this case, I think what's best is that you need to mention to your children that, Papa is working today at home, and you have to make sure that you don't make noise, you do not, interfere with my work, and you don't come into my picture. That's the most important thing, all right? Because children can sometimes, be naughty in coming into your frame, okay, when it comes to you having the meeting, because they're excited to see whose Papa is talking to, right? So in this kind of case, you got to set your boundaries well by telling your children and communicating with them in telling them to please help you out with that. Okay, so give space to you to work at home in order for you to work effectively, all right? Okay, so tip number 2, in order for you to work best at home, you got to set your time well, okay? Meaning to say that you got to assume, because everybody understands that once you are at home, you are capable of doing many other things. There's many distractions and so forth, and you got to set your time well as if you are working at office, all right? So in this case, when you are working, you got to set your boundaries really well in terms of getting up and also working on time, which is 8:30. Let's say, for example, in our case, 8:30 until lunchtime, which is 1 o'clock, and then after that 2 o'clock until 5:30, all right? So in this case, when you set your boundaries really well, and you understand that and you want to commit with that, you discipline yourself, and then you would get well with your time, okay? Which means that you would try your best in order for you to finish up whatever work or whatever task has been designated to you and make it happen as if you're at office, all right? It makes logic sense, right? Because when you think yourself at home and you would be able to do anything, right? Anything at all, then that's where the problem comes in, all right? So that's one of the tips that I think is quite important for us to remember. And just like this video, I'm making my video right now during lunch hour, all right? So right now it's about 1:30, and I hope to continue work back at 2 o'clock. And this is where I want to discipline myself in order to make my time useful as per my office, okay? So this is kind of key, guys, okay, in terms of working at home, because although the word home, okay, it must be an office home in this case, all right? So you got to condition your mindset on that as well, okay? So time factor is very important. And what I also do to make sure that I keep track of my time well is that in the morning, I jot down things that I need to do, all right, on that day and accomplish that day. Strike out the tasks that you have conducted, and at the end of the day, you'll be pleased, all right, by the tasks that you have accomplished, and that's how you can motivate yourself to work well and better each time at home, all right? So tip number 3, guys, on how you can effectively work at home is that you must make sure that you discipline yourself by not looking at your phones, all right? So phones right now is the connectivity, for everything, especially social media. You must make sure that you condition and discipline yourself well to make sure that you are not interfered by this, because no one can see you on how you work at home, right? Especially your bosses and your superiors. And again, this takes discipline, of course, because as I mentioned, tip number 2 just now, in terms of managing your time, if you are not disciplined enough to manage your social interactions and also all the distractions, whether to watch Netflix, YouTube, and other things that you may or can do, but if you don't do it, then only then you can actually finish up your work on time, right? Okay, so that's why I think it's very important for us when it comes to working from home. The juice of it is that discipline, discipline, discipline. All right. So I hope this tip is informative to you guys out there. And if you have any other tips that you can share, and please do comment down below. I would love to hear that. All right. So until next time, guys. Happy working from home. Bye.